everybody. Uh, in the DigiQVerse channel, today I will discuss the topic on difference between the sparse matrices and lower and upper bound triangular matrices in data structure. So there are lots of confusion between the sparse and the lower and upper bound triangular matrices. Some student feels that both are same, but how much they are same, but still they are not same now. So on today we will discuss about the same topic to clear the confusion of the students, right? So come to the topic, which is lower triangular matrix, square matrix where all element above the diagonal are 0. As the name indicates that, let us take an example like this. The above diagonal elements are 0. Consider there is a 1, suppose it's a lower triangular matrix represent as L, and we have the matrix by 3 into 3, right? So we have the 3 into 3 matrix. Okay, so inside this matrix we have just to define the double 0 and 0 and 0. Why this 0 has been taken? Because this is our diagonal elements, our diagonal matrix है, and above the diagonal matrix all element must be 0, and below the diagonal matrices all element must be non-zero, right? So this lower triangular matrix, it means this is my lower triangular matrix and this is my upper triangular matrix. ये मेरी upper triangular matrix है and this is my lower triangular matrix, right? So the lower triangular matrix has non-zero value in most of the position below on the diagonal. So this is the meaning of lower triangular matrices. Next is upper triangular matrix, a square matrix where all elements below the diagonals are 0, right? So here below the diagonal elements are 0. In the lower triangular में क्या होता था, जितने भी हमारे 0 एलिमेंट्स थे वो हमारे डायगोनल एलिमेंट्स के टॉप पर, आई मीन उसमें क्या होते थे, 0 होते थे. देन here below the diagonal elements are 0. So these matrices are specialized forms of non-matrices, form of square matrices, where only part of matrix, either the below or the above, can contain non-zero values. They have predefined structure and are useful for solving certain type of linear equations in mathematics or performing matrix decomposition. So this is the usage of lower and upper triangular matrix. So this is an example of the upper triangular matrix, as we have represent is U. So this upper triangular matrix has non-zero value in most of the position above or on the diagonal. Diagonal matrix जो हमारा ये है 1 3 6, these are the diagonal element in this matrix 3 by 3, and the above of this diagonal having the non-zero element and below the diagonal having the element 0, right? So that's a representation of lower and upper triangular matrix. So now come to the topic which is called the sparse matrix. So here we have just to consider the sparse matrix. On the other hand, is a matrix in which most of the elements are 0, of course, like that partially like that in the upper and the lower triangular matrix. But unlike in lower upper triangular matrix, a sparse matrix does not follow any specific structure or rule like being diagonal or triangular. Okay, so sparse matrix में क्या होता है, sparse matrix कोई ऐसा रूल फॉलो नहीं करता है कि below the diagonal और above the diagonal हमारे जो elements हैं वो क्या होने चाहिए, 0 होने चाहिए. ऐसा sparse matrix contain नहीं करता, ठीक है. So instead the sparsity of the matrix refers to the fact that the majority of the elements are 0 without any particular pattern, because there is no any specific patterns in the sparse matrix. So we have just to consider the sparse matrix maximum elements must be 0 inside an array. Like in this array there are 3 by 3 matrices here, and we have the only 2 non-zero elements and rest of the elements are 0 elements. So this is called the sparse matrix because the majority of the elements are 0, so that this is called the sparse matrix. But though it is not a triangular, right? So that's the difference between the sparse and the upper and lower bound. One example we have just to consider dimension of 3 by 3 matrix, and so convert this matrix into the upper and lower matrix, right? So we have defined the array name like input matrix having the row is 3, column is 3, and we have just to initialize the element like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 as in the you can say in the matrix notations. So what I will do, I will define the lower matrix how we have just to define, and the upper matrix of the given array. Okay, it's very simple. So we have just to define the lower matrix. As we know, the diagonal element, above element, all the above element of with the respective diagonal element in the lower matrix must be 0, and all the elements below the diagonal element must be non-zero. So this is an example of lower matrix. As we have just seen, there are three elements, 0, 0 and 0, which is exist the diagonal element, you can say, which are exist above the diagonal elements, and in the same way upper matrix 3 by 3 we have considered. So all the 0 element below the diagonal element, yeah, these are the diagonal elements. How much? 159 is our diagonal element, and 0, 0 is up below the diagonal element. This is my you can say the diagonal element 159, and below the diagonal element 0, 0, and these are the upper matrix, you can say 3 by 3, and above the diagonal element 2, 3 and 6 remain same as given in the given matrix. Okay, for lower triangular matrix we check the index positions. Let's say I and j, I is for the row, j is for the column. Okay, so if column position is greater than the row positions, we simply take as 0. This is a condition for making the lower and the upper triangular matrix. The fun point is that if column position is greater than row position, so we simply make it position 0. For the upper triangular matrix, we check the index position I and j, and that is row and column. If the column position is smaller than row position, then we make simply the position, we place 0. Okay, we make simply that position as 0, right? So how we are just to define the program in the C language? It's very simple and easy to use. So we have just to consider two functions like the void lower having the 3 row and 3 columns array, and with supporting two variables like row and column R and C for printing the lower triangular matrix, right? First of all, we are just to find the loop int I equal to 0, I is less than R, I plus plus, and j is equal to 0, j is less than c, j plus plus, and apply the condition that if I is greater than j, if I is greater than j, so we have print 0. Okay, here else is small aega, this is the algo. Else we have just to define the rest of the elements a, I or j. Okay, this is space represents the perfect indication of the matrix like this array. Okay, and printf slash n represents the you can see the element in the next line as according to the you can see the matrix forms, right? So this is a function of the lower for the lower function, and this is the function to print the upper triangular matrix. So inside this function we have just to define the same array like 3 by 3, 3 column, and having the some supporting variables R and C. You have just to define the loop. This loop is for the row, this loop is for the column, right? And we have to define the condition if the I is the index which is used to represent the row of any array is less than j, then we will print 0. Else we have just to print the another non-zero element which exists inside the I and j, and accordingly we have just to make the space and for the given representation of an array like this in the row by row. Okay, and inside the main function what I will do, I will define the initialize a value 3 and 3 for the variable C, R and C, and after that we have just to define the array A having the 3 row and 3 column, and initialize the elements in an array and find out the lower triangular matrix and the this is the upper triangular matrix. Okay, this is upper, not lower. Fine, and you have just to call the lower function is here with the 3 arguments as we have defined. The first argument was represent as an index array, second argument represents a row, and third argument represents a column, right? And finally we have just to show the lower ARC and upper ARC and get CH. Finally, how we have just to run this program, let us illustrate with the help of an example. Okay, so this is the programs. We have just to define these functions, I and j are the two supporting variables, and for loop हमने यहाँ अप्लाई करा रो के लिए, for j loop अप्लाई करा हमने कॉलम के लिए, कंडीशन चेक कराई, अगर i हमारा लेसन j है तो 0 प्रिंट करे, एल्स हम रेस्ट ऑफ द एलिमेंट्स जो हमारे नॉन ज़ीरो एलिमेंट है उसको वो प्रिंट कराए, स्पेस दे एंड स्लैश n. Okay, fine. Similarly, you have just to print for the upper triangular matrix. So we have just to use the function which is called the upper, having the three arguments. First is one is the array, second is r for the type integer, and c is for the type integer again. And you have just to define the some another local variables I and j for this particular function upper, and apply the for loop is here for the row and for columns. कंडीशन हमने यहाँ स्पेसिफाई करी, इफ़ हेयर आई इज ग्रेटर देन j देन प्रिंट कराए 0, एल्स प्रिंट द नॉन ज़ीरो एलिमेंट्स देन. ओके, तो दिस फंक्शन इज कंप्लीट नाउ, एंड कम टू द void functions. Inside the void function we have just to define the variables r and c and array having the 3 row and 3 columns, initialize all the elements, clear the screen, and printf lower triangular matrices, call the lower function is here, and upper triangular matrix is called the upper function is here with the same argument as we have defined in the above functions, right? Okay, get ch, and we have just to run this program. Okay, we have just to find out the lower triangular matrix. Yes, we have just to find out it's a 1 5 9, and you can say the 4 7 9 4 7 8 9. These are all the non-zero element below the diagonal element in the lower triangular matrix, and above the diagonal element in the lower triangular matrix the element will be 0. The same case is here in the upper triangular matrix. You have just to check it out, below the diagonal element the element must be 0, and above the diagonal element all elements are non-zero. So this is the representation of lower triangular and upper triangular matrices. Okay, so I think so यहाँ तक आपको क्लियर हो गया होगा, and if you have any query, any doubt, okay, so you have just to consider, you have just to discuss, and mention your any doubt, any questions in my comment box. Okay, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. Okay, so all the best students, thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.